Well, hey there. I'm Pastor Scott of the First Christian Church here in Lathrop, Missouri, and this is your Midweek Minute. This past Sunday we talked a little bit about confession of our sins to God, and we looked at Psalm 32, and part of Psalm 32 says this, 32 verse 2, "Blessed is the man whose sin the Lord does not count against him, and in whose spirit is no deceit." And we talked about this spirit of no deceit, how so many people, I think, we try to deceive ourselves into saying we're not that bad at people. We don't want to recognize our sins, and so we put a barrier up saying, oh, we don't need confession. And this self-deceit is very detrimental to our spiritual lives, and I think it's one of the things that puts a roadblock between us and God, especially in our prayer life, because, well, if I have to confess my sins, I have to go to prayer, so maybe I just won't go to prayer at all. And that's a bad habit to get into. But it also reminded me of Psalm 139. Psalm 139. And this is a beautiful psalm. It's one that I meditate over often in prayer, and it begins this way, and I'd encourage you to go read the whole thing. But it begins, "O Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my laying down. You are familiar with all of my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord." And it continues on and on. This idea that you can't hide anything from God. So we can't deceive God. If we are unwilling to admit we are sinners, we're deceiving ourselves, not God. God knows everything about you. And this helps also in prayer, because that means you don't have to put on a superficial face to go to God in prayer as if everything's okay. If you're hurting, let God know you're hurting. If you're angry, let God know you are angry. In fact, in Psalm 139, it even says this. This is praying to God. Someone says this in verse 19. "If only you would slay the wicked, O God. Away from me, you bloodthirsty men. They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord, and abhor those who rise up against you? I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them as my enemies." This person's praying to God, talking about how much he hates other people. And so when we go to God, we have to recognize he knows what's on our heart. He knows what's in our minds. And when we go to prayer, we need to confess that, and we need to express that. Because by doing so, it allows us to build a relationship with God that by going to prayer in a superficial way, you're never going to have. And so this week I challenge you. Go to the Lord in prayer in all honesty. Open your heart and pour out your feelings and your emotions to God. Again, my name is Pastor Scott of the First Christian Church in Lathrop, Missouri. If you look down at the bottom in the description section, you'll find all of our contact information. If you want more information on the gospel message, if you want more information on this congregation here, or if you want more information on prayer specifically, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I pray this message finds you well.